Firstly, as a foundation, we realized that the main racket sports of badminton, lawn tennis, and table tennis can present very real and challenging socio-economic hurdles to the majority of young Jamaican athletes who may be interested or has tremendous potential to do very well and to go all the way at the international level in these disciplines. Because of these hurdles, which include limited or difficult access to training facilities, gears and equipment, certified coaching, sponsorship and financial resources needed for overseas travel, etc. Many of these athletes end up, in my opinion, they end up gravitating to the oversubscribed queues of football or track and field. And after a while, we do not hear about the majority of them because they may not achieve. The result is that many Jamaicans consider the racket sports reserved for maybe the wealthy and the privileged. The Growth Sports Sponsorship Fund is an initiative which is saying that racket sports are not just for privileged Jamaicans who has access to the necessary resources. Opportunity is now being presented to our talented champions from anywhere or any background in Jamaica. Secondly, and most importantly, we recognize that the background of the launch of this fund is an international sporting environment which is very saturated and focused on developing skill and winning, while at the same time, it is littered with many sad accounts of skillful athletes who suffered from the lack of holistic mentoring, which produced very serious and catastrophic moral failure and character collapses. This means that it is very possible for our sportsmen and women who come through our systems to achieve and become public successes, but yet they are private failures. In other words, it is possible for someone to capture a title or win a gold medal, but yet still not develop into a trustworthy person or a model husband or wife, or a person of integrity, unquestionable integrity. Because of this, we have chosen a tagline which describes our overall vision: promoting skillfulness with integrity. That's the tagline of the Growth Fund. The NYFDF recognized that sports is a huge and significant part of the Jamaican culture and offers a wonderful opportunity for us to build correct character and impart pristine values into the lives of thousands of our children.
It's not often that you are invited from benefactors to be at functions. Usually you have to be going out and hunting. So it's really a breath of fresh air to be invited to a function such as this. Even to know that there are persons out there who are well aware of the challenges that we face, not only as administrators but especially as athletes.
It's a good initiative because the minor sports, and especially like racket sports, don't necessarily get the funding and the exposure that other sports do get. So it's good that persons can come together, and especially persons with more resources to kind of pour into those sports so that we can get good outcomes and we can get good results, as the major sports do, because they get more funding, they get more support. So this is a really good initiative.
Often when we look at our athletes, we're considering where we actually put the next initiative, what we actually fund or what we support the next minute. But there's another factor that most recently we are discovering that is important. In addition to potential and performance, we're also looking at readiness. Now, readiness has two aspects that I think about. One, a commitment to excelling, and that an athlete will find within themselves. The other component is empowerment, that they need from outside of themselves. Now, from the very beginning of our journey, we have always had this thought and believed that God makes things beautiful in His time. And I think that the timing of this launch is really very important. It is significant. What really moved me was listening to the young men speak about their journeys and to see that it is so real to them. Not orchestrated, but just so real that they could tell what they go through being exemplary athletes.
You don't play tennis just for the fun of it. winning or losing tennis matches does not determine who I am as a person, but it's who I am that determines how I function in the sport of tennis. Number 2, know the non-negotiables and live by them. So some values that no matter whether you win, whether you lose, whether you're doing well in a match or not doing well, you know that these things, you're not going to change them. Some of them being respect, integrity, humility, discipline, diligence, obedience, relationships, embracing struggle, responding properly to correction, keep on going in spite of challenges, knowing which voices to listen to, which ones to ignore, and making sure you have fun while you're playing.
Having the people around you to both have people to play with and to support you in your journey in life is a very thing that's needed in this sport in the country. So I think it's a very good initiative.
After being born, there were loads of questions. You know, were my lungs developed enough? How would my body temperature be regulated? Is there suspicion of mild dysmorphism? He had low muscle tone. How is he going to manage? And so these are like some of the initial questions and challenges I've had to learn to answer and overcome. And they've helped me to shape me into the person who seeks out, tries to find a way to press forward, tries to find answer. How can I improve? How can I become better? And not that I need to, but God wants me to invest the talent that He's given me and to return those things. Seeing a lot of athletes in Jamaica, you can definitely see that we have so much talent, so much potential, and you know, people want to play and want to go forth and bring forward like just the radiance of Jamaica, but it just needs some investment, some guiding, or just some help, or empowering, as we've been kind of saying. And so I think this is a really good initiative. You know, the Northgate Foundation, Family Foundation and Young Development for the Youths, and for Central Optical, I think it's a really good partnership that they're building, just to kind of set a good precedent for others to say, hey, I can come on board. And it doesn't have to be a ginormous amount of money, but it can just be a small investment. And just for the athlete to know, hey, someone cares or someone is willing to invest and I can partner with that, will go a long way. So yeah, it's something that's been on the cards, and I hope others will see this as a good sort of track and hopefully jump on board.
Well, I'm going to say this is a beautiful opportunity, especially when you're giving the youngsters. Because Mr. Samuel is still a young man. I remember going to Cuba with him as a table tennis player. Yeah, so giving my young player, Mr. Brian Blake, and others, an opportunity, what more can we ask for more things like this and more opportunities along this line?
I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be part of this new initiative. It's a welcome initiative. I think the event itself, yes, more persons don't know what they're missing not being here, but I do believe that it is of value. And when they hear what it is that is being offered, I'm sure you'll have more persons coming on board, seeking you out.
Working closely with administration and with players and other stakeholders, the enormous funding gaps is extremely clear. That is something we personally face on a daily basis ourselves. We are training, hopefully, an athlete with Olympic dreams, right? And we face that funding issue on a daily basis. And we have had numerous thoughts on how we might widen the scope of our involvement in contributing to the sports to the life of our young sports persons. Those considerations have resulted in a partnership with the Northgate Youth and Family Development Foundation, whose focus on nation building through empowering families, developing youths, defining the future, is very much in keeping with the culture of our company and consistent with the pursuit of the goals of our individual lives. As it relates to sports, there is special meaning for us as a company to highlight the value sportsmen and sportswomen play, being invested with a commitment not just towards performance and podium finishes, but to developing and to carry forward an unquestionable integrity in the sport. I'm very delighted that we were able to have this launch today. I think it
went very well. We're happy to have the different sporting associations, all of them that we targeted, were here and contributed greatly. We really benefited from the feedback from the athletes, hearing their stories and just a general atmosphere. We felt like it went very well. The values that were shared, it was very clear that this launch is for the long term, and we were very careful that we made a good start of something that will grow in the future.
So this initiative, to me, it's a movement whose time has come. We need things like this desperately, and it's something that when I was national director I was trying to push forward as well. So I'm actually very happy to see that something like this has come on board.
It's very helpful as a player because we always have trouble trying to find sponsorships to travel overseas to represent the country, and we all sometimes the tournaments that we're supposed to go, we can't go because we don't have the funding. So this is a very good launch for all of us.
Today's media launch of the Growth Fund was very excellent and very significant because of what the fund represents in terms of not just a focus on skills but on integrity and the whole holistic and character development of players in the sports. Okay, because of the world that we live in, sometimes you hear the negative aspects of the news coming out inside of what's happening in the world of sports. And I think this Growth Fund has brought a new focus on that. It's not just skills and talent we are dealing with. These athletes are people, and their handlers. We have a responsibility to make sure that they're developing in the other areas of their lives, which will make them better sportsmen and sportswomen. Okay, so I really, I think the focus of this fund will send a new message throughout the sports world, and I think a good announcement was made today, and I really I'm looking forward to the fund growing and other facilitators coming on board so that we can help more athletes.